By now, I'm sure that most of us are aware that nature is capable of some pretty miraculous things. One of the most unusual and extremely rare circumstances when it comes to nature itself are the mystery of albino animals. On one hand, for the animal itself, being born albino or even just all white is a tremendous hurdle to overcome. Like this Burmese python that just showed up on some poor grandma's front door, or the albino skunk who's easily spotted by potential predators. Today, we're talking about the 10 most rare albino animals. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to The Supreme, and click the notification bell for more lit content. Let's get rolling. Pinky. Our first and perhaps cutest stop on today's countdown is Pinky. Okay, maybe cute is subjective, but the rare albino snapping turtle suffered from intense malnutrition as a youngster. As a result, his shell never properly developed, but of course that is just one unique quality that Pinky has. As you can see, he isn't the typical turtle colored. Usually found in shallow lakes, streams, or ponds, snapping turtles are most often green or brown in color. But not Pinky. While most animals will be born albino in about 1 of every 10,000 cases, albino turtles, on the other hand, are much rarer, coming in at roughly 1 in many hundreds of thousands, according to some animal experts. There's also another case from last year, posted about by People.com. An infant albino turtle named Hope was born with its heart on the outside of its shell, a condition so rare in the animal world that at the time it happened, there wasn't even a name for it. You can follow along with the updates on Hope's Instagram at Aquamike23. Burmese python. Imagine being at home, minding your business one morning and stepping outside of your front door and seeing this, a 16-foot, 175-pound, rare albino Burmese python. Tony Harrison, the snake catcher called by the little old lady who came across this massive animal, stated that his belief is that the snake was likely imported illegally and lived in captivity until it literally grew to be too large to stay in its enclosure. Here in the States, Florida has a real issue with the Burmese python for the same reason. The snakes are often released into the Everglades and then wreak havoc on the animals there. Like many animals that you'll see on today's countdown, white or albino snakes usually don't stand much of a chance out in the wild. Like most reptiles, snakes rely on their coloration in order to stay hidden. This helps them hunt, but also it helps them not to be hunted as well. White tiger. Likely the fiercest animal on today's countdown is the rare white tiger. Now, contrary to what you may believe, these beautiful animals are not albino. Also, they don't occur naturally in the wild. White tigers are the result of inbreeding and can happen when two Bengal tigers that each carry a recessive gene controlling the color of their coats are bred together and are done by people all over the world. You may ask, why in the world would someone do something that seems so inhumane? I'm sure we could say that about a lot of things happening right now in the world, but the bottom line here is that the white tigers get people excited to come out and spend money to see them. So at the end of the day, of course, it's all about the moolah. Still, these creatures are pretty cool to look at. I just wish we could enjoy them without having to worry about all of the human interference that could be perceived by some as extremely inhumane. White reindeer. One of the world's most majestic animals, likely because of its affiliation with a certainly jolly fellow, is the reindeer. But have you ever seen a white reindeer? No, we're not talking about the 2013 comedy starring Nathan Williams. Wait, who? During the winter of 2018, images of this white reindeer from Finland went viral when it appeared that the animal was laughing or yawning or something else that was just absolutely adorable. Another younger animal that was so white it nearly blended in with the snow was captured on camera in northern Norway around the same time. White reindeer make up less than 1% of the total deer population. Albino skunk. One cute animal that sort of gets a bad rap is the skunk. Now, before you say anything, of course, I understand exactly why they get that bad rap. They stink. I mean, they literally stink. Have you ever driven through an area that just experienced a skunk's spray? It's awful. Now, besides all that, the animal itself is, well, it's actually kinda cute. But perhaps even cuter is the rare albino skunk. It almost looks like some kind of Pokemon. Five Sisters Zoo in Scotland just a few years ago was lucky enough to feature a newly born albino skunk that more than likely wouldn't have survived if it was born in the wild. Skunks rely on that black and white coating for camouflage. But inside the confines of the zoo, the animal was an instant hit with all the customers. Albino porcupine. Last summer, something pretty peculiar happened. Employees at the Seashore Trolley Museum in Kennebunkport, Maine saw what looked like a fluffy white pillow waddling across the lawn. But of course, we all know that fluffy white pillows don't have legs. So, what the heck was that? Well, it turns out that it was a young, rare, white porcupine. Apparently, before juvenile porcupine quills fully harden, they look like this. And when you're all white, that fluff looks like a pillow. Before identifying the creature, the museum took to its Facebook page, posting the animal and asking for suggestions as to what it could be. While porcupines are indeed a common animal throughout the state of Maine, the albino variety only shows up about 1 of every 10,000. White widow. When it comes to spiders, almost everyone has heard of the infamous and threatening black widow. The large arachnids known for their jet black exterior, with the females having a tendency to devour their mates from time to time. The female black widow spider also has a distinctive red hourglass-shaped marking on the bottom of its belly. But what about the white widows? Not a whole lot is known about the white widow, though their venom is powerful enough to be fatal if put into a small child or elderly person. Female white widows will mate with several different males, pretty much whoever comes into their web. But that is certainly a dangerous proposition, as just like with the black widows, white widow mothers will feast on their male counterparts if they're hungry enough. Albino orca. Our first and only marine animal on today's countdown is the orca, better yet known as the killer whale. These animals are truly the rulers of the sea and are infamously renowned for their black and white appearance. The killer whale has a white spot on the side of its head that looks like it could be their eyes. But those in the know realize that the eyes of the orca are actually much, much smaller. Albino orcas are also a real thing, though extremely rare out in the open. In the fall of 2016, in the Northwest Pacific, 5 all-white killer whales were spotted in open water, an especially rare occurrence indeed. Ghost lobster. While most animal experts will tell you that the chance of an animal being born albino out in the wild is about 1 in 10,000, this next example, according to legend, had the chance of being about 1 in 100 million. So that means, yeah, you've actually got a better chance of getting struck by lightning than you do to catch one of these crazy-looking critters. Check it out. This ghostly-looking albino lobster was fished off the coast of Stonington, Maine. The lobster appears to be translucent, like a ghost, because there is no pigment at all in its shell. White cardinal. Now to the air for our final clip of the day. Modern-day birds all evolved from theropods, an extinct group of meat-eating dinosaurs. In fact, it's the same group of dinos that housed the infamous Tyrannosaurus rex. So looking at birds are almost like taking a look into the past. The cardinal is one of nature's most beautiful North American birds that loves to sing. Bird watchers love to look at them for their bright red coloring, but every now and again, nature will bestow us something special. This female white cardinal bird that frequented an American bird feeder. How cool does that look? Only about 1 of every 1,800 cardinals are born this color, and like many other albino animals, they can have a tough time surviving as they're so easily spotted. Pretty cool to look at though, right? As we've learned today, just about any animal can be born albino, though it is an extremely rare feat. Which of today's animals looked the coolest to you? Is there an albino animal that you wanted to see that we didn't talk about? Let us know down in the comments. Thanks for hanging out with the Supreme. We'll see you next time.